Hollywood's golden image is often polished to perfection, but every once in a while, the sheen starts to fade and what lies beneath tells a very different story. Recently, the entertainment world has been rocked by surprising developments involving Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, to names not typically linked in controversy. But now they are at the center of a storm that's pulling back the curtain on something far deeper. Just a disagreement between stars. Justin Baldoni, known for his work both in front of and behind the camera, and for championing positive masculinity and transparency in Hollywood, has reportedly stumbled upon something he believes the public needs to know. According to sources close to the situation, Baldoni uncovered what he's calling a pattern in Blake Lively's career choices, affiliations, and influence in the industry. Not personal attacks, rather questions about how certain narratives are shaped, who benefits, and who gets left behind in the process. Now, what began as professional friction is turning into a full-blown Hollywood showdown. Insiders are buzzing with claims that Blake Lively is attempting to quietly distance herself from Baldoni, going so far as to allegedly try to cancel his influence in industry circles. The whispers are growing louder. Is this an attempt to silence a critic, or is something else going on behind the scenes? In this video, we're going deep into the timeline of events, the evolving power dynamics, and the potential implications for both actors as well as Hollywood's elite circles. We'll explore the origins of this unexpected feud, what Justin Baldoni uncovered, how Blake Lively has responded, and what this means for the broader conversation about power, image, and control in showbiz. So buckle up, because this isn't just about two celebrities clashing. This could be the tip of the iceberg in a much larger narrative that's quietly been forming in the shadows of Hollywood for years. The tension reportedly began during a development meeting involving a project both Blake and Justin were separately attached to. While details remain confidential, sources suggest that Baldoni raised ethical concerns about the messaging and representation in the script, concerns that were not well received by certain parties, including Blake's team. Baldoni, who has built a reputation for challenging stereotypes and pushing for genuine representation, allegedly pushed back on subtle industry norms that he believed were harmful. This boldness is said to have clashed with Blake Lively's more polished, brand-conscious approach. While neither star publicly commented, those familiar with the situation claim that it marked the beginning of a silent divide. What happened next only added fuel to the fire. Justin began giving cryptic interviews, never naming names, where he emphasized the need for honesty in Hollywood, accountability among producers, and transparency in how stars use their influence. Some fans began to connect the dots, pointing toward recent projects involving Blake Lively, interpreting his words as indirect criticism. Behind the glamour of Blake Lively's career lies a carefully curated image. She's seen as fashion-forward, witty, philanthropic, and drama-free. However, according to sources close to Baldoni, he believes this image may not fully reflect the behind-the-scenes influence Lively wields. He reportedly uncovered documents and industry emails showing Blake's strategic involvement in certain PR campaigns and her quiet pushback against individuals, particularly creatives, who challenged her positioning on certain projects. This isn't about scandal, but about control. It's the kind of influence rarely spoken of publicly, especially when it involves someone with such a pristine public persona. Baldoni allegedly voiced concerns that this type of behavior suppresses open dialogue in the creative process, especially when those in power can quietly redirect narratives. His advocacy for openness and reform may have put him directly in Blake's crosshairs. Multiple insiders say that since his findings, Lively has used her connections to subtly edge Baldoni out of future collaborations and casting discussions. Whether or not this amounts to a full-on cancellation is up for debate, but the shift is noticeable. Studios that once expressed excitement over working with Baldoni are now reportedly reevaluating, and some producers are rumored to be keeping their distance, following indirect pressure from powerful Hollywood intermediaries. The entertainment community is sharply divided. Some insiders quietly back Baldoni, admiring his courage in questioning systems that most avoid. Others see his approach as disruptive and worry it could damage carefully maintained industry relationships. A handful of anonymous executives have come forward stating that this conflict is reflective of a larger problem in Hollywood, where image often supersedes intent and where certain voices are amplified while others are subtly muted. Supporters of Blake argue that she's simply protecting her brand and that any decisions being made are strategic, not personal. Her camp maintains that she's worked hard to craft a successful and respectable legacy, and that any claims against her are exaggerated or misinterpreted. Meanwhile, Baldoni has remained calm but firm, continuing to advocate for a more transparent and accountable entertainment system. He's hinted at future projects and documentaries that will explore these very themes, leading some to speculate whether he might tell his side of the story soon directly and publicly. What lies ahead is uncertain. Will Blake Lively directly address the controversy? Will Baldoni name names in a future expose? Could this escalate into a broader industry reckoning over quiet power and influence? One thing is clear: this is no longer just about one project or one disagreement. It's about what happens when authenticity challenges image, when transparency meets branding, and when silence is no longer an option for those demanding change. Stay tuned. Hollywood's curtain may finally be lifting, revealing a complex reality that not everyone is ready to confront. As this unfolding tension between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni continues to ripple through Hollywood, it raises deeper questions about how influence is exercised behind closed doors. This isn't a tabloid scandal or a petty celebrity feud. It's a reflection of the silent power dynamics that exist in an industry where image can often be more powerful than truth. Blake Lively, long admired for her grace, fashion sense, and philanthropic image, is now being viewed through a more critical lens. Not for any overt wrongdoing, but for how she may be quietly steering conversations and decisions behind the scenes. If true, it challenges the public's perception of how clean Hollywood stars really are when it comes to the politics of casting, influence, and brand preservation. On the other hand, Justin Baldoni is emerging as an unintentional disruptor, someone willing to question systems that others have accepted as just the way things are. His choice to stand by his principles, even at the risk of being pushed out of certain spaces, is drawing both admiration and concern. Can someone truly speak truth to power in Hollywood without facing repercussions? Ultimately, this situation is more than just one actor versus another. It's about a growing desire within the industry for change, for honesty, equity, and openness. Whether or not either party directly addresses these developments, one thing is certain: the conversation has started. And in an industry that often thrives on silence and spin, even starting the conversation is a powerful act. The real story may still be unfolding, but the questions raised will likely echo for years to come. Stay informed, stay critical, and always look beyond the surface.